If I'm easy work, I heard him say I'm easy work. If I was easy work, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want 200 million for Benavidez, and he want 150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him.
Maybe someone's reacted to that news. I don't know, or maybe it just fell through. No. But it sounds to me that the move to fight Jake Paul has just maybe derailed the other fight. But I don't blame Canelo Alvarez, because financially, the bigger fight is Canelo-Jake Paul. Yeah. Because in that fight, you've got two big stars. Yeah. In the other fight, you've got two great fighters.
Terence Crawford has struck back at Canelo Alvarez following reports that their much-anticipated fight has been cancelled. What was expected to be one of the grandest events in boxing has now collapsed, leaving fans both upset and disappointed. At first, negotiations looked highly encouraging, with Ring magazine confirming that both camps had agreed to terms for a mega showdown in Nevada this fall. The bout promised to be a landmark event, matching two of the sport's most accomplished and celebrated champions. Yet, in a dramatic twist, fresh reports indicate the agreement has unraveled due to unresolved disputes between the fighters' teams. According to The Ring, the Canelo Alvarez vs. Terence Crawford fight is officially off. But what exactly caused the abrupt collapse of talks? While contract disagreements may have played a role, a shocking angle has surfaced. YouTuber-turned-boxer Jake Paul is facing severe backlash for allegedly being a decisive factor in the deal's breakdown. Social media erupted with outrage, with many fans accusing Canelo of avoiding Crawford in favor of an easier yet more profitable clash with Paul. Peep Games, a well-known boxing commentator, vented his frustration on X, formerly Twitter. Its official Saul Canelo Alvarez ducked the number one pound-for-pound fighter, Terence "Bud" Crawford. Canelo is now the undisputed biggest coward in boxing history, the greatest duck ever. Countless fans insist that Canelo's rumored tune-up against Jake Paul was the key reason the Crawford fight collapsed. Rather than facing one of the generation's most dominant fighters, Canelo was being accused of chasing a safer but highly lucrative bout with a social media personality. One of the most vocal critics of this move is Turki Alilshik, the financial force behind locking down the Crawford fight. As the mastermind of Riyadh Season's high-profile cards, Alilshik has openly condemned Jake Paul's involvement in professional boxing. He has repeatedly warned that YouTuber-driven spectacles damage the sport's credibility. With tempers flaring and fans split, the collapse of this super fight has left many questioning the future of elite boxing. Will Crawford secure another worthy rival? Will Canelo publicly address the backlash? And above all, is a Jake Paul fight truly on the horizon?
And Terence Crawford, who should be a big star, but the reality is isn't. He's just an unbelievable fighter. So, listen, everything can change overnight, as you saw.
Yeah, absolutely.
So don't rule out Canelo Crawford, but as I'm hearing, Canelo Jake Paul is done. And I get it. Yeah, I'll watch it.
Mad old game. Eddie, always a pleasure, mate. Really appreciate the time.
Listen, back up your ideas.
Many believe Canelo Alvarez's openness to facing Jake Paul was a decisive factor in derailing negotiations for his long-awaited super middleweight clash with Terence Crawford. Fans had hoped Canelo would pursue IBF champion William Skull to reclaim his undisputed status at 168. That matchup would have delivered a historic Hall of Fame-level showdown for all four belts, far removed from a circus-style contest with a YouTuber whose most recent victory came against 58-year-old Mike Tyson. On X, a user named Canelo Lesnar posted, "Even though it's unclear why Canelo vs. Crawford was scrapped, insiders claim the entire conflict may have started from a single response." After Bud called out Teofimo Lopez, Canelo allegedly demanded Lopez be Crawford's next fight before facing him. Meanwhile, whispers of a potential Canelo vs. Jake Paul fight have continued, though no credible evidence proves official negotiations ever took place. World Boxing News had previously avoided feeding the rumors, but discussion intensified after the Crawford bout was shifted from T-Mobile Arena to Allegiant Stadium. Would Canelo truly consider Paul? The thought of a four-division champion and holder of WBO, WBA, and WBC belts entering the ring against a YouTuber seems improbable. Las Vegas, the epicenter of world-class boxing, may never endorse such a spectacle. Still, in today's digital climate, even faint speculation can snowball into reality, often leaving fans deeply frustrated. The boxing community reacted with anger at how this saga unfolded. One fan criticized the sport's repeated failures, saying, "Boxing is a joke sometimes, announcing fights without finalized contracts." This sentiment echoed across the fan base, reflecting exhaustion with broken promises and false superfight announcements. Another fan expressed heartbreak. "They hyped us all up only to shatter our hopes." For many, the idea of undisputed champions from separate weight classes colliding was exhilarating, but that hope has now turned into bitter disappointment. Some speculated contract stipulations were the main obstacle. One tweet claimed, "Rumor is, Canelo read the fine print and saw the winner had to fight David Benavidez." Known for his relentless aggression and high-pressure style, Benavidez presents a formidable danger to anyone, which could have added major complications to talks. However, not all reactions were negative. Some argued Crawford may have avoided a damaging decision. One comment read, "Crawford can't make 168. That payday would have ruined his legacy, let's be real." While Crawford's talent is undeniable, moving 2 weight classes higher to face Canelo would have been a colossal test. Many argue the risk wasn't worth the reward and that Crawford staying in his division protects his reputation. For a brief moment, it appeared the super fight was finally materializing. Reports indicated talks were moving forward, but now, the dream of 2 pound-for-pound kings colliding looks dim. The exact reason behind the collapse remains uncertain, though the size gap clearly loomed large. Meanwhile, David Benavidez has re-emerged as a central figure. In an interview with Ariel Helwani, Benavidez, fresh from his eliminator victory over David Morrell, declared his preference for a showdown with Dimitri Bivol. If Bivol, who defeated Canelo 2 years ago, wins his upcoming fight, the entire landscape of the division could shift dramatically.
Confident are you, David, that you will fight the winner of Beterbiev Bivol?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. To be honest, the only thing that I'm thinking about is that if Bivol wins this fight, like what they would have to do a rubber match. You know what I mean? And like I'm just like thinking, who am I to say that they can't fight another fight because they fought 2 great fights. So that's basically the only thing I'm thinking of right now. But I would, if that's something like that would happen, I think I wouldn't fight until they get that done with, and then I would move into that fight after they have a trilogy. So that's really the only thing I'm thinking right now.
But that would be a long break for you. Like, let's say conceivably they fight again October. Who knows?
Terence Crawford now stands at the threshold of boxing immortality, with a rare chance to become a 3-division undisputed world champion. Such a feat would elevate him into the highest echelon of fighters, securing his reputation as a dominant force across multiple weight categories. Yet with Canelo Alvarez possibly out of the equation, Crawford faces a pivotal choice about his next step. Rather than waiting on Alvarez, he could pursue a series of unification bouts, strengthening his claim to greatness by facing other champions in the division. One of the most realistic options for Crawford may be Sebastian Fundora, the towering and unconventional fighter who is already engaged in a heated online back-and-forth with him. The two have exchanged sharp words, stoking speculation about a matchup that would draw enormous attention. A showdown with Fundora would test Crawford against a physically overwhelming opponent, but many observers believe his tactical mastery, superior ring IQ, and elite counterpunching ability would still make him the clear favorite. Even so, questions continue to swirl. Would Canelo Alvarez actually risk suffering a 3rd career defeat by facing Crawford? Some argue that Crawford's calculated precision and well-rounded skill set give him the edge, while others remain convinced of Alvarez's devastating body shots, granite defense, and experience controlling fights with both strength and composure. For Alvarez, the risk of another high-profile loss looms large, especially with another looming threat pressing closer. The issue of weight classes complicates the debate further. Is it fair to demand a champion move up 2 divisions just to secure a fight? While some feel Crawford's extraordinary talent allows him to compete at heavier weights, others maintain that such a leap would hand a natural size advantage to fighters like Canelo. Meanwhile, David Benavidez continues to loom as a dangerous factor. His relentless pressure, high-volume punching, and raw power have turned him into one of the most feared names in both the super middleweight and light heavyweight divisions. Should he manage to unify at light heavyweight, Canelo's ability to sidestep him would grow increasingly difficult. With so many moving pieces in the boxing picture, fans remain anxious for answers. Will Crawford seek another elite challenger in pursuit of lasting greatness? Will Canelo finally accept the challenge he has avoided? And will Benavidez keep tightening the noose, pushing for the long-awaited clash many see as inevitable? One thing is certain, the coming months promise explosive developments for the sport.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna rest and talk with my team. And like I say, everybody asking for everything. But and I always did. I always fight with everybody. You asking, so. But right now I'm in the position I can ask him to. So I'm in the position I can ask him to, and I can do whatever I want, and we'll see what happens next.
For nearly a year, Terence Crawford relentlessly pursued a fight with Canelo Alvarez, determined to carve his legacy through one of boxing's grandest showdowns. During this period, both fighters maintained direct contact with Saudi boxing chief Turki Alilshik, a pivotal figure in shaping major events on the world stage. Alilshik stood as one of the strongest advocates for the bout, convinced it could become one of the most significant contests in modern boxing. With such influential backing, expectations soared, and many reports suggested negotiations were virtually complete. Rumors even circulated that an official announcement would be made during the much-anticipated UFC 306 card in September. Hype reached fever pitch when Crawford and Alilshik spoke together on Instagram Live, directly fueling global speculation. Fresh off his impressive win over Edgar Berlanga, Crawford seized the moment to issue a public call-out to Canelo, applying even more pressure to close the deal. Alilshik, equally enthusiastic, wasted no time responding, "Yes. Let's go, Canelo, come on, we are ready." Crawford immediately doubled down, "You heard it from him. Just put me in the game." Canelo versus Crawford, the biggest fight in boxing. But we stay ready, so we don't have to get ready. For a fleeting moment, it seemed the stars had aligned, and boxing fans worldwide began counting down to a historic event. But momentum shifted dramatically when rumors emerged of a possible Alvarez matchup with Jake Paul. The idea that the reigning unified super middleweight champion would even consider fighting a former YouTuber who has yet to beat a ranked professional sparked widespread skepticism. Initially dismissed as nonsense, the chatter soon snowballed across social media, forcing boxing insiders to treat it more seriously. Reports linking Canelo to Paul drew immediate outrage from purists, who saw the very notion as an insult to the sport. Why gamble on a circus act when a genuine legacy-defining fight with Crawford was within reach? Why prioritize quick profit over a bout that could redefine modern boxing? Critics blasted the idea as nothing more than a cash-grab spectacle, dismissing it as entertainment masquerading as sport. Yet despite the uproar, the rumors refused to fade. Social media continued to pulse with speculation, and what once felt like a laughable fantasy slowly evolved into a heated debate within boxing circles. Whether Canelo truly entertained the idea remains uncertain, but what is undeniable is this: today's unpredictable boxing landscape continues to both anger and fascinate fans around the globe.
Not official, but it may be a done deal. Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez. Early thoughts? What do you think?
Yeah, look, the first thought is, can he handle the weight jump? Can he handle the weight jump? He being Crawford against Matadorf, people are going to say, "Oh, he had some hiccups." Who don't have hiccups? When you eat something that's a little difficult to eat, and Matadorf was a little difficult to eat. He's not easy to digest. He's a good fighter. When you eat something that's a little tough to digest, you get hiccups, right? So come on, he's human. So he had a few hiccups. He won the fight. He's Terence Crawford. A lot of people say, "Oh, Teddy, you make him so good. You're always saying how great Crawford is." But who's he beating? He unified the, what was his first division? Lightweight, then he unified the junior, then he unified the junior welter, then he unified the welter. I think I got the weight classes right. It doesn't.
For nearly a year, Terence Crawford relentlessly pursued a fight with Canelo Alvarez, determined to carve his legacy through one of boxing's grandest showdowns. During this period, both fighters maintained direct contact with Saudi boxing chief Turki Alilshik, a pivotal figure in shaping major events on the world stage. Alilshik stood as one of the strongest advocates for the bout, convinced it could become one of the most significant contests in modern boxing. With such influential backing, expectations soared, and many reports suggested negotiations were virtually complete. Rumors even circulated that an official announcement would be made during the much-anticipated UFC 306 card in September. Hype reached fever pitch when Crawford and Alshik spoke together on Instagram Live, directly fueling global speculation. Fresh off his impressive win over Edgar Berlanga, Crawford seized the moment to issue a public call-out to Canelo, applying even more pressure to close the deal. Alshik, equally enthusiastic, wasted no time responding, "Yes. Let's go, Canelo, come on, we are ready." Crawford immediately doubled down, "You heard it from him. Just put me in the game." Canelo versus Crawford, the biggest fight in boxing. But we stay ready, so we don't have to get ready. For a fleeting moment, it seemed the stars had aligned, and boxing fans worldwide began counting down to a historic event. But momentum shifted dramatically when rumors emerged of a possible Alvarez matchup with Jake Paul. The idea that the reigning unified super middleweight champion would even consider fighting a former YouTuber who is yet to beat a ranked professional sparked widespread skepticism. Initially dismissed as nonsense, the chatter soon snowballed across social media, forcing boxing insiders to treat it more seriously. Reports linking Canelo to Paul drew immediate outrage from purists, who saw the very notion as an insult to the sport. Why gamble on a circus act when a genuine legacy-defining fight with Crawford was within reach? Why prioritize quick profit over a bout that could redefine modern boxing? Critics blasted the idea as nothing more than a cash-grab spectacle, dismissing it as entertainment masquerading as sport. Yet despite the uproar, the rumors refused to fade. Social media continued to pulse with speculation, and what once felt like a laughable fantasy slowly evolved into a heated debate within boxing circles. Whether Canelo truly entertained the idea remains uncertain, but what is undeniable is this: today's unpredictable boxing landscape continues to both anger and fascinate fans around the globe. As the chatter continues to surge across social media, one fact remains undeniable: love him or hate him, Jake Paul has mastered the art of staying relevant. His ability to spark controversy and dominate conversations guarantees that his name remains firmly planted in boxing's spotlight, whether the purists like it or not. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this fight breakdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Fightcore for more powerful boxing updates. Stay tuned for the next round.